Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something incredibly personal and, honestly, pretty raw. We're looking at a journey that takes everyday, intense struggles and flips them into real, actionable wisdom. We're talking mental health, physical survival, and finding a financial lifeline when you're literally down to your last time. If you've ever felt totally stuck in your own coping mechanisms or just overwhelmed by a family health crisis, this one is absolutely for you. We're going to break down how one woman navigated her way from intense vulnerability to creating undeniable value. Let's get right into it.
So, to really grasp the gravity of this, we have to start with a pretty stark reality. The author is completely transparent here. She admits she relies on alcohol just to force her brain to shut off at night. And we're not talking about, a casual glass of wine to unwind. She's drinking about 500 milliliters of an 80-20 water and whiskey mix, spread out over 3 glasses, right before hitting the pillow. It's this rigid, almost desperate routine born out of a literal terror of insomnia. It's basically a physical requirement just so she can escape the day.
Now, what's truly alarming here is the physical toll this is taking. You can actually see the trap closing in on her. Her body is, of course, building a massive tolerance. Where this whiskey routine used to buy her maybe 5 hours of solid sleep, it's drastically shrunk down to just 3 hours. Just 3. She wakes up, and without more alcohol, her brain flat out refuses to go back to sleep. It's a really vicious cycle.
Okay, so why is this happening? To get it, we really have to look at the psychological link, because it's fascinating. And actually, it's incredibly common. For women navigating ADHD or autism, relying on alcohol is rarely about enjoying the drink. Actually, she mentions she absolutely hates the taste. Instead, it's all about medicating a severe dopamine deficiency. The intense boredom and depressive feelings of everyday life become literally physically uncomfortable, and alcohol is that quick escape hatch. On top of that, for folks on the autism spectrum, routines can become these unbreakable traps. It stops being a choice. It turns into a hard rule. When it's bedtime, there must be alcohol, or the anxiety is just off the charts.
Well, eventually, this exhausting cycle hit a total breaking point. She was so desperate to avoid that agonizing insomnia she dealt with in the past. The kind where your brain is desperately trying to shut down, but your body literally twitches awake? Yeah, that kind. It got so bad that she actually pushed her scheduled cardiology appointment up 2 full weeks, straight to June 3rd. Her main goal? To score a tiny 5-milligram prescription of a sleep med called Dayvigo. She was just hoping, praying really, to get some natural sleep, and also to chat with her doc about getting better data from her CPAP machine.
And this right here perfectly captures the deeply conflicting reality of her health right now. It's this wild mix of incredible victories sitting right next to glaring red flags. I mean, we absolutely have to give her props for the massive effort here. Her weight dropped from nearly 100 kilos down to 87.5. That's huge. Her LDL cholesterol, it plummeted from a super dangerous 230 down to the low 90s. Even her salt intake is down, and her doctor was thrilled. But looking at the data impartially, the alcohol is definitely leaving its mark. Her gamma-GTP liver enzyme is sitting over 300. Now, that's a sharp spike from the 80s she had when she was sober, though. To be fair, it is better than her all-time worst of 1,200. But then there's the blood sugar, sitting at a really alarming 195.
And honestly, that blood sugar spike of 195 is particularly terrifying when you consider her daily routine. She eats an incredibly disciplined diet. We're talking light carbs like udon in the morning, solid proteins like eggs and natto at noon, and mostly just veggies for dinner. She actually ran this by her mom, who used to be a nurse. Her mom noted that while skipping a fast before a blood test might bump the number a little bit, 195 is undeniably a massive warning sign. Plus, it brings this really dark genetic shadow into the light. See, her mother's side has a deep, deep history of diabetes, and her father's side, a devastating history of fatal cerebral hemorrhages. So the genetic deck is really, truly stacked against her.
And the heartbreaking part is, this personal struggle feeds right into a much wider family tragedy. She isn't fighting this battle alone. Her sister is dealing with a cascading crisis of her own. It started out with worsening depression, which eventually led to her losing her job. Trying to cope, her sister turned to binge-eating sweets, which caused a shocking 30-kilo weight gain in just a single year. That intense physical and mental strain led to severe pain, and then a totally devastating diagnosis. Her hip bone was literally rotting away. Hypnecrosis. So now, she's stuck living in a second-floor group home, struggling just to manage the stairs, all while doctors delay her much-needed surgery, telling her she needs to lose more weight first. It is just such a stark, tragic example of how mental struggles can manifest physically.
Naturally, hearing about her sister's hip triggered some profound terror for the author. It connected right back to her own physical fears. See, for a while now, she's been dealing with severe heel pain the second she wakes up. We're talking so bad that just walking is agonizing. And worse, she gets this sharp, shocking nerve pain in her own left hip whenever she tries to stretch. So her mind goes to the worst-case scenario. Is it just from sitting cross-legged? Is it her unique walking style related to her autism? Or, terrifyingly, is her own hip bone rotting too?
So, you might be thinking, why not just go to the doctor and get an x-ray? Well, this quote right here hits on the harsh financial realities so many people face. She openly admits she hates spending money on herself. She looks at her wallet and just hesitates. Her mom is begging her to see an orthopedic surgeon, but she's surviving on these tiny micro-profits from selling stuff on Mercari. I mean, we're talking literally 10 to 50 yen of profit per item. Sure, she recently started making a little bit of money from her blog followers, but she feels incredibly conflicted about blowing that hard-earned, highly appreciated income on medical bills. It's this totally paralyzing financial bind.
But here is the crucial takeaway. And it's such empowering advice, especially for folks in their 40s and 50s who are just exhausted from constantly battling themselves. When you're dealing with mental health struggles and leaning hard on alcohol or overeating, forcefully stripping away your only coping mechanism almost always backfires. Instead, she brings up this idea of coping reimagined. The idea is, don't focus on restriction. Keep your current baseline, but simply add a new joy or a positive action to your routine.
Let me give you a really specific, beautiful example she shares. Let's say your go-to coping mechanism is overeating, but you know it's wrecking your health. Instead of just starving yourself of that comfort, shift the perspective. Become the cook. Channel that energy into making delicious meals for other people. The joy and the gratitude you get from seeing them enjoy your food, that can actually trigger the exact same dopamine hit your brain is screaming for, completely bypassing the physical harm to your own body. It's all about finding sustainable sources of dopamine so you can actually stick around and enjoy your 60s and 70s.
All right, let's pivot a bit to the practical side of things. We're going to rewind to 2018, because this was the absolute turning point, the year she finally found her financial lifeline.
She discovered the incredible power of selling on Mercari. And we're not just talking about getting rid of old clothes. She mastered the art of selling these rare, nostalgic items from the Showa era. You know, the kind of things people look at and go, what on earth is that even for? Figuring out this platform wasn't just about scoring some critical cash to survive. It became this amazing way to actively help people. She helped older folks downsize, she helped fund people's moves to new cities, and doing this completely rewired her brain. She jokes that today her eye for value is so razor sharp, she can spot a dropped glove on the street and instantly calculate the exact Mercari profit in her head.
And because she's kind of stepping back from her peak hustling days, she really wants to pass this lifeline on to us. She teases that she's actually putting together a comprehensive step-by-step guide to her whole Mercari method. It's going to have detailed screenshots, the whole shebang. It's meant to be a super tangible, actionable tool for anyone out there struggling with their own financial survival. It's a beautiful way to turn her years of grinding into a legacy that genuinely helps her audience.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer for today. We've traced this incredible journey from a debilitating sleep dependency and really terrifying family illnesses all the way to a mindset that literally spots value in discarded items on the sidewalk. It's a huge challenge to all of us. So I want to leave you with this. Take a hard look at the struggles you're carrying right now. How can you shift your perspective, maybe add a positive coping mechanism, and transform your own heavy burdens into undeniable future value? Something to think about. Keep an eye out for her upcoming financial guide, and until next time, keep learning and keep growing.